Good morning, you guys, and greetings from Tennessee. I hope you're all doing well. We had some storms roll through last night, some rough ones, but knock on wood, everybody's okay. A few branches and trees down, but as far as I know, everybody's still alive and kicking. That's a bonus. I hope you guys are well. Today, we're going to talk about a gun that is different. It is one that a lot of people don't know exists. Let's start with a little history. On January 4th, 1781, there was a cat born. His name was John H. Hall. And Hall is one of those guys that is one of the most important guys in firearms history, and most people don't know he existed. John H. Hall was the guy that developed equipment that would actually make guns with interchangeable parts. Before then, the majority of them went along a pattern, but they were hand finished, and a lot of times parts wouldn't interchange. So in the model 1819, he developed a breech loading rifle, state of the art at the time, but it looked basically like this gun. He made 19,680 of them. They made them, most of them, not the early ones were made in Maine, but he made most of them at the Harpers Ferry Arsenal in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Mr. Hall, though, the key part for these guns was those interchangeable parts, because it changed the game. I mean, can you imagine all the other guys trying to fit everything together? If you had to repair one of the Hall rifles, you just put stuff in it and moved right on down the line. Amazing thing that happened. He made those guns as a flintlock. You see most of them, when you see them, they have been converted to percussion. But in 1841, they actually made a percussion version of basically the same thing as the 1819 rifled flintlock. But this one left the factory as a true percussion. They made 19,680 of the early flintlock versions. They only made 4,213 of these. They fire a 52 caliber bullet from that 32 and 5/8 inch barrel. This one's got a full length barrel, but it was made as percussion rather than using a flintlock. Again, state of the art. On February 26, 1841, Hall died. And so when they made these guns, they left his name off of it. They still put this, which is on top of the block itself. It will have the H Ferry for Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Now it's a national park. So if you get a chance, go by there. And if you go down by the water, they actually still have some of the equipment that actually made these guns. Great park, a beautiful place. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. But it's definitely worth a stop by if you get a chance. But it'll have the H Ferry US and the 1841. The 1841 is, they made them 2 years. They made them 1841 and 1842. So this would have been one of the early ones. There's a couple of features that show up on this gun that are completely different from the model 1819. What are those? I'm glad you asked. I will be glad to tell you and share that with you, because I want you to learn things, because knowledge is power. On these guns, on the old guns, they had this. It's just a lever to raise the block. These guns, though, use what had just been seen on an earlier model. On the 1840 Hall North carbine, they try something different. They use what is called a fishtail, or a whale tail, you'll hear it called sometimes. But it's just the lever that raises that block. Actually, it still works good on this one. But it's this. It actually looks like a fishtail or a whale tail to raise and lower the block, which is completely different than the earlier one. This one still has it. As you can see, it works well. Made from percussion the whole time, not converted. On the back of the trigger guard on the 1819, they have a spur that comes out. They get rid of it on this. Was a lot of extra work that didn't do a whole lot. So they got rid of that on this model. The rifling. The rifling on these is 7 groove rifling. This one's got great rifling. This is a beautiful gun. I picked this up from a friend of mine out in Texas. Is one, they say they made 4,213 of them. I don't think they made that many, or I would have had more. But I got a chance to get it and I jumped on it because it's different. And even in a book, in Flederman's Guide, he goes through and he has them by dates, but he puts this gun close to that 1819, which if you're looking back in the 1841 section, it ain't in there. So it even confused Mr. Flederman. Mr. Flederman was always nice to me, so I always, but sorry, I digress. My caffeine has worked this morning. Most of the time you hear me say it hadn't. But you can go on to Shiloh Relics. You can look at this one. There's lots of pictures of it because I thought it was cool and I took pictures from every angle. Great gun. It can be yours. We did the little Civil War show in Corinth, Mississippi last weekend. It's great to see everybody. They had great attendance, man. There was a lot of people came through the door. And one of the folks that came through, and I try not to share too much, but I want to give a shout out to some people that deserve it. A friend of mine, he and his wife came through and their daughter had been very sick and she passed, and they are raising their grandchild. And there's a lot of people that you don't hear about, you don't think about, that have stepped up and done that. I helped raise my girls, and I'm tired. I love my grandkids. I love them with all my heart. I would die for them today if need be. But raising them would be a hard thing to do. And so I just want to give a shout out to all of those people that have stepped up when times got hard and are raising grandchildren, especially at a more advanced age, because my bender don't work as well as it used to, and that gravity is heavy and the ground is further away, and little people tend to be on the ground a lot. So I just want to say thank you to all of those people that do a very thankless job because of love. These guys, they had just lost their daughter, and my heart, it just is a hard thing to talk about. But hey, as they were leaving, I said, I want y'all to remember one thing. I said, remember that little fella is in a not so great situation, but that little fella is lucky enough that he has two people that love him. And a lot of people ain't got that. So shout out to all of those people that are taking care of children or parents or anybody that it's a thankless job. Well, you got thanked today, because I am thankful for you, thankful for the heart that y'all have. I hope y'all have a great day. Go to ShilohRelics.com, order a pile of stuff because I could use the money. I'll catch you later. Love y'all.